What's up everyone, welcome to this new video. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you would know that I started to separate my content based on different themes, and job search is one of them. This is the first video of my job search theme, which talks about the 7 baby steps that you can take in order to make sure that your job search is easier. At the end of the 7 steps, I'm also gonna give a bonus tip, which you guys would probably know, but if you guys don't, it would be a bonus tip for you. So let's get to it. Before we go into these steps, I want to make sure a couple of things. First one is I'll be creating separate videos on these, elaborated, much extensive videos on these steps. So this is a summarization video. The second one is, I know there are a lot of people who might say, hey, there are no specific mantras to success. There's always a gray area or something like that. These are just directional. This has worked for me, and these are all my learnings from my previous 5 years, 6 years of job search. Please make sure that you take this with a grain of salt, and if you have other steps which are different from this and which are much effective, please comment in the video. The first one is forget all the myths that you know. There are certain people who have this black and white mentality, which is only experienced people get the job, so please get some experience back in India, or if you don't get internships, you might not land with any full-time opportunity or stuff like that. Please forget all those myths. I am the one who didn't have any experience back in India. I was a fresh graduate when I came to US, and I landed pretty good jobs. I got good internships as well. I also used to have a roommate back in Boston who did not get any internships after going through rigorous process of interviews. But then at the end, he got a good full-time job. He's in Amazon with me right now. So please forget all the myths that you have ever known. It's not always black and white. There's always a gray area. To give more context on this point, the cornerstone of this point is that when you go into a new company or when you join a new company, the employees who have been working there for 2 to 3 years value your opinions, and they're interested in your questions. Do you know why? Because you're thinking with a new mentality. You're thinking about the problem with a new perspective. That's what you need to have before even you go into job search. You need to have a blank perspective and start. The second one is obviously your resume. The weird analogy that I want to use is these days vaccination cards help you go into a restaurant, right? They are the proof that you're vaccinated. You need to have a good, simplified, impactful resume, and I'll be creating separate video on how to create a resume on that and on all these points. Third one is the most underrated one of all, which is creating your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn profile is kind of like a portfolio or a website for the people who are hiring you. They want to see what skills you have and what experiences you have overall. So building a LinkedIn profile is a separate skill, and you need to have a good introduction in the start. You need to have a good heading which says, okay, I have these experiences, or this is my forte, or like I'm the visualization expert, something like that, some selling points. There are also recommendations at the end given out by certain people, like, hey, Raghu is an amazing candidate who worked with us for 6 months, and he has shown some excellent results in the short span. I think these are all like the tiny but at the same time important, underrated things in LinkedIn that might impact your job search, and in a good way, obviously. The fourth one is networking. Networking is nothing but extending your presence in the professional market or professional world. Networking can be different types. You can go to a separate networking event where they're like, hey, we are hiring, or maybe just meet and greet with different professionals. The other one is probably like going into a chat, a one-on-one with a good experienced person, let's say from Amazon or let's say from Google, and getting to know what they work on. Obviously they'll not tell you what they're working on, but getting to know what their day looks like, and what are the steps that you can take or you can learn from them. The secret advantage of networking, which no one talks about and everyone is learning as they network more, is that we start to pick up the language what professionals are talking in their daily basis, right? It's very important that you get that language, which helps you in your interviews. When you go into an interview, you can basically talk to them in their language, which is the first selling point in any interview. So please make sure that you have yourself some time, at least once a week. Go out on a specific meet and greet with a couple of people, go out on a coffee, buy them some coffee, buy them a burger. You have to offer them something so that they'll give you some time. That's how it works. Fifth one is building a dream job description and working backwards. What I mean by that is, when you know what you want to become, you basically go and search for that specific job titles and then you're done. But there are some people who don't know what field has good job prospects or what they are good at, or maybe they don't know what their niche is, right? Building a dream job description and working backwards is what I had done in my initial stages. This is important because I've seen a lot of students, they just pick their skills randomly from different people. They're like, hey, that guy is learning something new. This guy is learning something new. Let's take those two things and then learn. Don't even know how to apply. And then if they go into an interview, they'll be like, hey, I know these two things, but do I know the application? No, rejected. So it's very important that you get that dream job description for yourself. And I'll make a video on that, why it's important, because when you work backwards, you know what you're working for, you know what skills are important in that specific description or in that specific role, and then you work backwards, you learn those things, and then you are going prepared in an interview. The sixth one is finding your worth in the market. What I mean by that is, you need to understand what your worth is in the market in terms of salary and experience. Salary and experience, if I segregated, salary is something that no one talks about, and everyone wants more salary when they are negotiating. But it doesn't work that way. If you don't have 3 years, 4 years of experience, you don't get paid 200k. That's not how it works. So you need to set expectations for yourself based on your experience. How much salary are you gonna get in certain roles? I started my journey at 80k salary 2 years ago, and I have right now it's way above, which I'm not going to disclose obviously, but please make sure that you set that expectation for yourself. The seventh one, last but not at all the least, focus on quality over quantity. In terms of applying for companies, quality over quantity is very important. If you think about it, there are separate companies who post their jobs in separate timings, right? Maybe some post on Monday, maybe some post on Fridays. How would you get to them if you're just applying on one day, 100 jobs, and then that's it? It doesn't work like that. Apply 20 on one day and then apply 20 the other day. You have to make sure that you spend time in creating that specific resume for that specific job description and applying just 20 a day. Take your time, do something else, study, and then come back the next day creating a new resume for the new job role. That's how you are going to build quality job applications rather than dumping thousands of applications one day and then calling it a day. Okay guys, it's time for the bonus tip. This has been crucial for me. Please make sure that you share your job search experiences with your roommates, with your friends, with your classmates. It's very important that you talk to them. Maybe they're not experiencing those things. Maybe they are falling short of, motivation, or maybe they don't know what you're doing. Maybe they can learn from you. Please make sure that you share, because you are not in this alone. You are in this together. Before I leave, I just want to focus again on quality over quantity. Please make sure that you are consistent and please keep calm. It's always going to work out. See you guys in the next one.